Today we are going to look at composite and inverse functions. So I'm just going to read through some of the function terminology that you should be pretty clued up on by this point. So we have a function which is a combination of one or more mathematical operations that takes a set of numbers and changes them into another set of numbers. We have inputs, which are, of course, the numbers being put into the function, usually our x values, and then we have our outputs, which are the numbers coming out. So after whatever function has happened, and they are our y values. So function notation. A function f with input x can be written as f of x. Again, this shouldn't be new to us. Of course, other letters can be used. You'll see G, H, J, pretty much any letter can be used for functions, okay? So for example, the function with the rule double the number and add 4 would be written as f of x is equal to 2x plus 4. And then, of course, sometimes functions don't have names like f, and they are just written as y equals. So I just put this in just as a sort of reminder that f of x is the same as y equals, okay? And they are interchangeable. Okay, so on to our first example. So just a general function example, first of all, with the notation. So part A wants us to find f of 7, given that the function is defined as 2x squared plus 2x plus 1. So, of course, to calculate this, f of 7 would be equal to, I am just subbing in 7 as my x value. So 2 lots of 7 all squared plus 2 lots of 7 plus 1. In your e-assessment, you will, of course, have a calculator available to you. Please use it. Just be careful with your indices and make sure that bin mass is applied correctly so that you don't get an incorrect answer. But for this, once you put it all in, you would come out with 113. So effectively, for the point x equals 7, your y coordinate, if you were to graph this, would be at 113. Okay, moving on to part B. So find f of x plus 3. Now, of course, this is slightly more complex in that it's algebraic, but still, you still follow the same method, okay? We are still replacing the x of the function with whatever we have inside the brackets. Okay, so here I would write f of x plus 3 is equal to 2x plus 3 all squared plus 2 lots of x plus 3 plus 1. Okay, so I've got a process of expanding and simplifying to work through here. So remember your indices first. So 2 lots of this bracket squared is, of course, a double bracket, so it's quadratic. So I would FOIL this to give me x squared plus 6x plus 9. I can distribute or multiply out the next bracket to be 2x plus 6. And then I have that plus 1 still. So again, let's keep simplifying and multiplying out the first bracket now. So 2x squared plus 12x plus 18 plus 2x plus 7. That's going to be at the end. So one less line of simplification would give us a final answer of 2x squared plus 14x plus 25. Okay, so that would be your answer for f of x plus 3. Okay, you will get quite complex ones, potentially like that, but just remember the process of replacing x with whatever is in the bracket of the function, okay? All right, moving on to our composite functions. So a composite function is a function applied to the output of another function. Okay, so the input goes through the first function, we have an output, and then this output then goes through a second function to become a new output. Now, sometimes it will get put through the same function twice, Okay, that is still classed as a composite function. Most of the time, though, we do see two different functions in questions like this. So, for example, if f of x and g of x are two functions, then g of f of x is a composite function. Okay, you'll see it written like that with two sets of brackets, but then also like this, which is the shorthand notation. You basically, for this one, would do f first, so apply the f function first and then the g function. Okay, so in terms of what that really means, we're going to look at some examples just to remind ourselves, really. So here we have two functions. We've got f of x is equal to 2x plus 1, and we have g of x is equal to 1 over x. Now, my first question wants me to find f of g of 2. So that means I need to put 2 into the function of g first, and then the output that I get is what will then go into the function of f. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So g of 2 first would be equal to 1 over 2, so a half. And now I need to do f of that output, so f of a half, which would be equal to 2 lots of a half plus 1, giving me a final answer of 2. Okay, so I can write that f g of 2 is equal to 2 as my final answer for that one. Okay, on to the next example. So here we have g of f of 3. So this time it's switched and I need to find f of 3 first. So f of 3 would be equal to 2 lots of 3 plus 1. So f of 3 would be equal to 7. This output of 7 then becomes the input for g. Okay, so we need to work out g of 7. So g of 7, which is going to be equal to 1 over 7. Okay, so as a final line, I can write g of f of 3 is equal to 1 over 7. Okay, on to my last example for composite functions. So here we want to calculate f of g of x. Okay, so this again is the algebraic type question that you might see. So we take g of x being 1 over x, and effectively I want to find f of 1 over x. Okay, so in the function of f, every time I see x, I'm going to write 1 over x. So that would mean 2 lots of 1 over x plus 1. I, of course, want to simplify this. So I would multiply out that 2 to give me 2 over x plus 1 as a final answer for that question. Okay, so that is composite functions, very briefly, but 3 examples for you to refer to there. We're now going to move on to inverse functions. So, of course, inverse means the opposite. So it's about how we sort of undo the function or work backwards. Okay, so an inverse function does the opposite operation of the function that it came from. The notation we use is f minus 1 of x. Okay, this means inverse function. So how are inverse functions and composite functions related? So if you apply a function to x, then apply its inverse function, you would basically get back to where you started. So you would get back to x. Okay, so this example here, if f of a is equal to b, then the inverse function of b would be equal to a. And it basically like undoes the function. So you just get back to where you started. Okay, but it's important to know how to find an expression for the inverse. And there is a method to do this. So that's what we're going to look at here. So my function of f is 2x plus 1. And I want to find the inverse. Okay, so in terms of your method, The best way to do this is to start by writing y equals 2x plus 1. Okay, and at this point, the aim is to basically have x equals, so to isolate x. Okay, so isolate x, and you're going to do this by rearranging, of course. So the first thing that I'm going to do here, I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. So I got y minus 1 is equal to 2x. I'm then going to divide by 2 on both sides. Okay, so now I have y minus 1 divided by 2 is equal to x. Okay, once you have x isolated, like this, you switch the x and y. Okay, so wherever you have y written, that becomes x and your y switches. Okay, so ultimately, we have y equals x minus 1 over 2. Now, we've not finished there because we need to use the function notation. So use inverse function notation. Okay, so your final answer here would be to write f minus 1 of x. So again, replacing y with that inverse notation is equal to x minus 1 all divided by 2. Okay, and that would be your final answer for the inverse function. Okay, you do get more complex ones. I will, of course, send out some practice at the end for, well, it's got more difficult ones in as well. So, right, moving on to the exam practice to finish off. So, first question, in this question, f of x is equal to 2x minus 1 and g of x is equal to x plus 2 all squared. Find f g of 4. Okay, so the first thing I need to do here is find g of 4. Okay, so g of 4 would be equal to 4 plus 2 all squared. Okay, so g of 4 is going to be equal to 6 squared, which is 36. That is now my output, which becomes my input for f. So f of 36 is going to be equal to 2 lots of 36, subtract 1. So f of 36 is equal to 72 minus 1, so 71. So that would be your answer for part A. For part B, an algebraic question, so we're going to put the function of f of x into g of x, so replacing any x with the 2x minus 1, okay? So effectively, we are doing g of 2x minus 1. So that is equal to 2x minus 1 plus 2 all squared. Okay, so to simplify that, I would just collect any like terms that I can do. So 2x plus 1 all squared, I'm going to leave it like that and just tidy up my notation. So g of f of x is equal to 2x plus 1 all squared. Okay, so on to our final question, another inverse question. So a function is given by f of x is equal to 5 subtract 3x. Use algebra to find the inverse. So again, I want to start by replacing f of x with y. So y is equal to 5 minus 3x. And then remember the whole idea of this is to isolate x. So the first thing that I'm actually going to do here, because I have a negative 3x, is I'm going to add 3x to both sides just to make my life easier and keep it positive. So we have 3x plus y is equal to 5. I want to subtract y from both sides. So 3x is equal to 5 minus y. I need to divide both sides by 3. So that would give me x is equal to 5 minus y, all divided by 3, at which point I want to use the correct notation and switch out the values as well. So if you want to do the switch first, we would have y is equal to 5 minus x, all divided by 3. And then I want to use my inverse notation. So I just replace that y with the inverse function of x is equal to 5 subtract x, all divided by 3. Okay, and that brings us to the end of our composite functions and inverse functions session.